Alright. Oh shit, I can hear it. Through my thing. I can hear it through the monitor as well. Yeah, let me just plug the headphone jack into it. Alright. So. You'll have to excuse this. I was drawing OCs. I need to stop listening to myself. I was drawing OCs, and this is one of them. This is just Neo Agent 3 to me. This is the guy. Anyway. Just as like a side note before I actually get into it. I'm sorry I haven't posted many videos. I really want to. But I am not being given a chance to record. Ever. It's been like nearly 2 months since I've actually properly been able to like sit down and record something. I don't know what is going on. It's so fucking annoying. But that's the deal. To record this, I've pulled an all-nighter. I usually go to bed at like 7:30 a.m. Which is still ridiculous, I know. But like, that was what I did to record. Like, I would record at night, you know, when I'm not interrupting people. So that, like, you know, it's just the best time to record, right? Like, it's just a good time to record, because nobody's, like, here, in a sense. Like, they're upstairs, asleep. But they can't fucking hear me, right? Anyway, it's nothing to do with, like, I'm interrupting anything, or anything like that. Like, I'm not. I don't actually know why people are sleeping downstairs all the time. But it's just fucking up my ability to record. Like, I just cannot record. Like, usually, the people sleeping down would be very minimum. Like, it was at least... No, it was like at most, I mean, like once per 2 weeks. And now it's every day. Don't know what the fuck happened. It's infuriating. Because I really want to record. I'm not on hiatus anymore. I want to actually, like, make videos. Like, I've gotten into, like, a stride of confidence recently. Like, I'm actually talking to people. Which I wasn't doing before. Like, I felt great recently. And I've wanted to record. But I'm just not being given the opportunity anymore. And I don't understand why. Like, no... I wrote a very... just... frustrated... letter... about it. And it was just ignored. I wasn't told anything about why... people are sleeping downstairs. Like, I wasn't even, like... reassured or anything. I just wasn't told. And it's like, I've told you now that I'm trying to, like, make videos and potentially get a job. But, like, nobody's, like, it's just being ignored. So I'm like, okay. Anyway. It's annoying that I have to, like, air it out. Like this, you know? Like, I want... this existence. Like, I just want to, like... make videos. But I can't. So... it's gotten me pissy lately. Just, like, every night. And I've now pulled an all-nighter so that I can record. Like, my brother just went to school. Like, that's what time it is right now. It's like 8:40 or something. so that I can record. Yeah, it's just so frustrating. Like, I just want to record. I've got so much on my plate in the next 3 months in terms of, like, things I want to record. I want to record Persona 3 Reload when that comes out on the 2nd. I want to record Side Order when that comes out on the 22nd. I want to record Princess Peach Showtime when it comes out on March the 22nd. Like, I've got so much that I want to do, and this could be, like, you know, a good year for me. And I might monetize this year. That's what I want to do. I want to monetize. I want to get money. Like, I want more incentive to get better. You know, so I can earn more and then hire an editor so I don't have to do the boring bit. And whatever, you know, like, I don't... But it's just not happening. Anyway. There's a patch. There's a patch. There's a mincemeat rework. You can see it there. There's a mincemeat rework and there's a patch. I wouldn't normally cover a patch, but everyone's being so negative about it because of, like, three low points. I don't know. I think it's a great patch. So I want to be a bit more positive about it. Just because so many people are just whining, in my opinion. But, yeah. This is primarily, though, a mincemeat rework review. So let's... Where the fuck? Let's go to Recon. Okay. So. They announced this probably like a week ago, that they would be making changes to the layout of Mincemeat Metalworks. I think when they did this for Mahi Mahi, they mentioned it in the patch notes. I'd have to double check that. But they didn't do it with Mincemeat. But it did get updated. It was out of rotation for the last 2 days. I was going to say 2 hours, but it was 2 days. It was out of rotation for 2 days. So that was good. That was like the best change it could have had, but it's back in rotation again now. And they made some... I was going to say major changes, but that's not true. I've seen it already, to be clear. I have seen it a little bit. But let's talk about it. So, if you'll remember before, this, like, kind of spawn region, this, like, you know, this, like, block, this stage, I guess, that you stand on as, like, your own team in every map. It was surrounded by walls. It's still surrounded by these walls. Like, this is the top of that wall. The difference now is that the map has just been elevated towards the back of it. So, we're higher up now. It's been made taller a bit. And you can see that because, you know, we can actually see the floor out here, but, you know, nobody else is noticing that. You can also... where was he? He's not here. But yeah, anyway. He's down here, I think. Everything has just kind of, like, been expanded and, like, extended and made wider and made more spacious. That's kind of, like, the big change on this map. You can see this wasn't here before. I think this was just, like, some, like, cubes of, like, scrap metal before. But now this is, been replaced by, like, this, like, extension down. And here, okay, clearly not in this mode, but some modes, this is inkable. This bit specifically, this is never inkable, I don't think, but that bit there, sometimes they will take the tarpaulin off it, and it will be an inkable surface for you to get up there. And you will have a second way to retreat back to spawn from, you know, apart from this sponge, which was all you had before, at least on Turf War. Obviously in some mode there was a ramp here, just a normal ash ramp. But on a lot of modes this was the only way up, or like on Clan Blitz there was like 2 blocks here that allowed you to get up there. Point is, that was the only way up there before. Now you've got this way back up to this part. So that's a good change, right? You can also get up here now. I don't think you could do that before. No, you could do that before. That's a lie. I lied. This wasn't like this before, though. Like, this would just... There was just a hole here before. But now there's no drop here. Like, you can just swim over it and not have to worry about falling in. Falling in wasn't really a problem, though. It was more of a problem for walking back up, I would argue. Or for dualies who were trying to defend against like an enemy who was pushing in. But that doesn't matter as much anymore. So that's like the 2 major changes. I don't know if this is like a good change. I don't really care for it. I care for this little guy though. This guy's fun. I like this. They've at least given this map a bit more like character that it lacked before. Like, it was just a scrapyard before, now there's like some little whimsy, like, jellies. This block is useless, but that's, you know, whatever. Who cares? But it's like this kind of area that was made taller. This drop here. This is taller than it was before, I think. No, it isn't. What's taller? Something was taller. I'm sure of it. I think it's taller. It feels taller. Because, yeah. No, it is taller. It is taller. I think it's the... What did they do? Why did this feel so tall before? I swear it felt taller. Oh, I think it was over this bit, actually. I think this bit's taller. I don't know. It's taller in general, I think. Like, I think it's just... I felt like... Okay, let me tell you what my thought process was. Like, I thought, like, only one bit was raised. And then, obviously, all of the bits above it were, like, went with it. But, like, I thought there was, like, one bit that they gave a growth spurt. I think they just generally made everything bigger, because these still look like equal heights. Like, each, like, step, kind of, looks roughly an equal height. It's this. This is taller. That. It's that bit. This bit's taller. The drop into mid is taller. Anyway. That's out of the way. They added this block in the middle. I like this block. This block's nice. They gave it a bit of a Wahoo pole moment. Wahoo boner. But I don't know, I don't mind it as much on grating. On Wahoo it doesn't matter as much because you can just swim around it easily on Wahoo. This one has a lot more grating around it. Wahoo doesn't have any grating. But this one has grating around it, so it's... I think it's more useful to have something blocking the way. But that's kind of it. Like, everything's more spacious, as I said. Like, that's just an overall improvement. And this drop into mid has been made a bit taller. But that's it. It's less of a rework. You know, Mahi Mahi, I would say, is a rework. They added an island, you know. They changed the terrain of spawn, you know. They didn't add routes, but they changed the terrain. You know, like, they didn't... For this, they didn't change the terrain that much. There was that little, like, raise over there that covers up the hole that I mentioned. And there's this ramp. This, like, elevated slope up here. that's the only, like, major terrain difference. The rest of the changes... Oh, they also got rid of the scrap cars that were, like, spiked. The rest of the change is space and height. The terrain hasn't changed significantly enough for me to be like, oh yeah, this is a rework, you know. What would be a rework to me would have been adding this route that everybody wanted, you know, removing these blocks entirely and making more room to move around here, and just having like flank routes around mid. That's what we wanted, but it's not what we got. It's not what the stage needed for it to become like a good stage. They just improved what was already, like, they just made it less lacking, you know. It's still lacking, just a bit less than before. Casually speaking, which is on my level, it's been turned from a terrible map to like a kind of terrible map, you know, like it's still, you know, that's the feeling. That's the noise I make at this map. It's just, you know. It's just a Splatoon 3 map at this point, you know. That's derogatory. It's a Splatoon 3 map. That's a derogatory term. I want to highlight now 2 other modes of this. Tower control is the first one, and the other one is Rainmaker. We'll start with tower control. The tower route has not changed. However, because of the space, first of all, because of the space, the tower path is now longer. I don't know if that was like, I don't know if it did this diagonal turn here. I think it might have just come here and then turned at a right angle before. But point is, now that this is a longer map and it's less of a medium-sized map and like more of the like big map, you know, it's had some effects on the way that this tower path works. Well, first of all, the tower path is longer. It had to be made longer just because. But oh, also, yeah, that's inkable now on tower control. But also there are some like really good effects of, first of all, this. Now, the first really good thing is that you can now surge onto the tower. Really solid. They removed this jump, which I like. I don't know if anybody else likes that, but I like that. But as we move along, you can see they've extended this out so that this is still a possible jump. And you can surge off it. I can't really show that here now. Oh, I can. But what's really notable for me is that, okay, previously, when this was less spacious, you could jump from the tower onto this terrain. You can't do that anymore. I really like that. Something I've been really frustrated with on tower control since these checkpoints have been added. It's just the fact that these checkpoints stop on so many places where you're able to just storm enemy territory. And it feels unfair to do that. I like it when it's on moments like this, where it's a risk to jump on here, because if you fail it and you drop off, you've missed the chance, you know, the tower moves past. You know, if you miss your chance, you've missed your chance. And, you know, I like that. It feels more challenging to be on the tower, and it feels more fair if the points where you can jump off and storm enemy territory are temporary, you know, or are more temporary. Before, when you could jump from this checkpoint over here onto here, it's just stopping on one of those moments where you can storm where the enemies are coming from. And you can't do that anymore, and I like that. I think we need more of that in tower control. I've been playing Splatoon 1 again recently, preparing for a Splat compilation for when it eventually dies. And playing tower control on that, it's made me really appreciate when there wasn't checkpoints. Because the checkpoints now are being placed on places where it's really easy for the people who are currently attacking to attack. And I like that it's becoming riskier with this update. So I think it's improved the tower control, is what I'm saying. There is a point further up that I will get to, here. Oh, of course you can still jump to that. But that's not really leading anywhere, so that's, that doesn't have the same effect. It's this one. This checkpoint, you can jump up here. You can still jump up there. But that's less disappointing because this is like... This is barely any different from, like, going up that way. So that's, like, just fine. Point is, I think that this checkpoint over here, now being more distant from here, so that you can't jump to here from there, I like that change. I think it's good for this map mode. Now let's look at Rainmaker. No, I hate when pro controllers do that, where you just smack the stick that bit too aggressively and it like doubles back. Anyway. So. Rainmaker is much of the same, to be honest, but something that's really disappointing. You can't jump that. That's so annoying. I really wish this was just that bit closer so that you could jump up there. That would be really cool. But it's just not like it. Those blocks that are here in the turf war layout, those uninkable blocks, they're clearly uninkable so that you can't jump up there. It's so annoying. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. The first thing that's important for this Rainmaker, this path is now more viable. Because of this. You can jump over it. I didn't mean to go that way. This little ramp that they've added is a really good boost for you to jump over this this grating, and it makes this route more reliable. Do you know what else you can now do from here? You can jump up there. I think before... I think you had to take it up the grating before? I'm actually going to check that. I mean, I should have prepared this information for me, but I didn't. Oh. Went on the other monitor. Mincemeats. Metalworks. I just clicked the wrong thing. Stop that. Oh, is my... Oh, fucking... My network adapter's acting up because I'm recording. For some reason, the Elgato capture card processing thing on my computer just fucks up the internet. It's nothing to do with the internet. It's not even connected to the internet. It's no reason that it should disable the network adapter. But anyway. Sorry about this. Fix it then, troubleshooter? That's kind of what I asked you to do. Okay. That's the wrong one. Oh, come on. Hmm. Rainmaker. Come on. Load the image. Okay, there we go. There was a grating that you might have been able to jump to. No, that grating was too high before, I think. I think it was. I believe it was. It looks like it would have been. I think it might have been. But you can... I don't know if that's true. But if it is true, it's changed now. You can jump from here to here. Even when this goes down, you can still jump from here to here. That's a new thing. This route is just way better now than it was before. Not sure if it's better than that one. I'm going to try that now. But point is, there's more reason to pick this route, which is a similar change to what they did on Mahi Mahi. They made just what was previously a really bad route less of a bad route. You can jump up here from here. Oh, they added this. Yeah, I mean, there's some minor improvements to this route, but I think it's just roughly the same as before. So, yeah, not really much was done about this route. But that route over there has been made better. And that's what I wanted to highlight about this. So, yeah. Alright. Some patch notes. I don't need to be using Explosion for this. I was trying to understand the Inkstorm buff that they added, but I don't know, I couldn't really figure it out. So I just gave up. The first big thing that people were complaining about with this patch is the quote-unquote increase to the scatter of ballpoints, like precision mode type of thing. So like that long range mode is supposedly less accurate now. I think... Don't quote me on this. Quote somebody else, because somebody else said this. I don't remember who it was, but somebody else said it. I don't think they changed the shot RNG, per se. Just that the reticle, that circle in the middle, it will now fire more along the circumference of the circle than it did before. Like, when it deviates outside of the circle is, like, no different. Like, the square around it isn't much different. But the actual, like, RNG of it, like, the actual... They didn't expand the rectangle, they just changed the chances of it being a perfectly precise hit. I think that's what they did. So, like, you know, a typical RNG nerf would be they change that rectangle that you see on the outside. That's when you get an inaccurate shot. What they've changed is not actually the rectangle this time. It was the actual, like, statistics of it. So a big nothing burger of a nerf. Still a nerf and still bad, but just less worrying than I think people thought it was. So, yeah, whatever. Who cares? In my opinion. Another thing, I saw, like, Stamper mains being a bit pissy that this got nerfed. And I just think that's so silly. Like, this is barely a change. Come on. You're complaining about that? Really? That's a problem for you? Really? They barely changed it. You can still swing through this perfectly fine. It's just... they're like making you less likely to get Crab Tank and Zipcaster. This is such a nothing nerf. How is this something to complain about? They did fuck all to it. It's not any less, like, difficult to use. It's still as easy to use as it was before. It's just painting less. Slightly less. There's nothing to worry about with this. I don't know how the Stamper mains can just be so annoyed at this. This is so nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. It was like... okay. One thing that is an issue in this patch is this. This was 28 damage per shot before. Now it's 30, if it will let me hit it. It's now 30 per shot. This will now combo off of more things, and you know, it doesn't take less time to shoot down an enemy that is at full health, but it's more dangerous for assists, is what I'm saying. It's more dangerous to, like, assisting things. For instance, Stamper. Stamper is a 70 points per charged slash, right? Well, this does 30. That's 100, right? So, you know, it combos off of more things. I saw some pro players saying that this was necessary, just not now. Like, at this point in the game, it's just kind of... it just isn't necessary, but, like, maybe in previous points it would have been necessary. It just isn't now. Like, this is quite a well-picked weapon, you know? Because it has tacticooler and good tactical output. You know, it just doesn't need it at this time. But maybe, like, in previous iterations it would have needed it. I don't think it ever needed it, to be honest. I don't think I agree with that. Granted, I'm casual. It doesn't really matter to me as much, but, like, really? It needed this? I don't think it did. This is, like, the one thing that I'm really, really disappointed about. As well as, it's the most disappointing change. Really the most disappointing thing for everyone is the lack of a change on Sniper Rifle. The Inkstorm buff inadvertently buffed the other one, but the other Sniper Rifle isn't really the problem. It's the supportive one. This one. This one's the problem. This one's got really good tactical output. It needs less tactical output, really, is what it needs. I actually think, you know, if I was in charge of how I would change this thing, that Stamper nerf that we were just looking at, I'd give it to this. Make it paint 10% less. You know, it doesn't need to be painting this much. It's a charger, you know? What's really important about this is just having really powerful shots, in my opinion. You know, it doesn't need all this paint. Why are we giving it all this paint? Give it a bit less paint, you know? Don't make it, like, impossible to paint a trail for yourself, you know? Like, don't make it, like, too thin. You know, maybe give it less paint, you know? Or maybe, like, I don't know, just... Point is, I want it to get special less. That's what I want from this. It's just to make it get special less. You know, if it's not got a really good ability to get special, it's not really as powerful as it is. But really, you know, they make a lot of changes to other tactical weapons. You know, they gave points for special changes to Tri-Slosh's tactical kit and heavy edits, and what was the other one? It was oh yeah, it was NZAP. They gave points for special nerfs to NZAP, Tri-Slosher, and heavy edit, which intentionally or not buffed pencil, because now this one has a really easy time getting special. So, you know, it still has that ability, you know, and they've taken that ability away from the other tactical weapons, but this one has kept it. And so that's what's really disappointing about the lack of even any acknowledgement towards the Sniperizer issue that has been kind of just the biggest issue for competitive players, especially, you know. I think Sniperizer has kind of been affecting casuals too. I've been seeing it quite a bit. So, you know, that's the biggest shame, is what they didn't do. As for what they did do, I don't think as big as a nothing burger as people have been kind of saying it is. They gave Wavebreaker a rework. Didn't do that before. That's really... I like that. That's a good one. I think the Inkstorm change is really solid. I like that we're giving other specials reworks. I like that we're, like, actually experimenting with how we can make the other specials work. But yet again, why are we not doing this for Reef Slider? Everybody's complaining about Reef Slider. Nobody likes Reef Slider. If you get Reef Slider on your kit, it's the biggest disappointment ever. I did a whole, you know, in response to just the fact that there are now special reworks on the table. I've proposed like a series of like quite a list of them. Okay, my internet's acting up again while I'm looking for this fucking list. Come on. Oh, shut up. I fucking hate this thing. It must just be the computer. It's been like this since I got it. I want to share my ideas for Reef Slider reworks. Come on. They're such good ideas. But I want to like read them how I wrote them, just because they're more concise. I'm starting to feel that tiredness, by the way. The effect of pulling an all-nighter. Oh, load! Come on! You can load more tweets, come on. Lost connection. Probably because it's resetting the network adapter. Yep, that's exactly what it's doing. Come on. Alright, it's on again now. You can load shit. Okay. Jesus Christ, do I tweet this much? Oh my god. Okay, here it is. My first idea was to allow players to ditch the Reef Slider by jumping, by pressing B, once it starts moving. It would give a similar end lag to normal, but at least now there's like kind of like the curling bomb effect, where you can follow the curling bomb or you don't, you know? Anyway. Alternatively, after ditching it, you can still control the explosion, was another idea I had. Along the same lines as the first one. In that case, it would work like triple ink strike, where you can't submerge into ink while it's traveling, and while you've got that detonate button in your hand. But I think it's a really solid idea, and that's why I put that one like forward first, is just because I think that's such a cool idea to, like, you know. And since, you know, there's evidence that Reef Slider was supposed to be a Splashdown rework in previous iterations before the game released, you know, we have that evidence. So, and something that Splashdown's always had, that Reef Slider kind of had, but it's kind of gotten old, is that coolness factor, you know. Splashdown is really showy, and it's really, like, it feels really good and satisfying to pull off. What I think would be really satisfying is the ability to jump off of the Reef Slider and ditch it, and let it explode off in the distance, you know? Do you know how fucking badass that would be? That'd be so fucking cool! It would be really, really cool, and it would give it the factor that Splashdown has that Reef Slider's been missing. And it would also be an improvement and a good rework. Another idea would be to replace the invincibility with ink armor, so you can now die while riding it, in exchange for removing the end lag completely. Or give it the chance to drop roll off of the end lag. My fourth idea was to keep the startup lag, but continue to let the slider go forward as you die, kind of like the triple Splashdown's fists. And as it travels forward, as the ditched thing travels forward, the enemies can shoot ink at it, which will make the explosion lesser. Or, you know, and that might give it the similar effect to Bubble Blower in Splatoon 2, where enemies could shoot the bubbles and it would deal less of an explosion when it eventually popped. My fifth idea was to, like, you know, just give it a bit of drift, you know, turn L stick and slightly divert off the path, kind of like in Wii Sports when you do a dodgy golf swing, the bar kind of like slides out of it a little bit with that red line. Maybe give it that. Or, if we're not giving it anything, just let it drop roll out of the end lag, you know? There's 6 ideas on the table. Take them. I don't need payment. It's fine, you can steal from me, I don't care. They're good ideas, I want them in the game. Anyway, back to the patch. What else was in the patch? Inkbrush is way faster now. Yes, look at this. This feels really fun, actually. It is noticeable. I usually use ink brushes so that I could check the backgrounds of the stages. For the internet, fuck. For the Interconnected Worlds video I did a while ago. Oh, I need to update that. No, I don't. They've only added 1 stage. I can update it later. I can't even really see anything out of Robo Ramen anyway. But I think I'm gonna wait for more stages to be added before I do a follow up on that video. But yeah, that's why I can notice it. It feels like really floaty now, and I think it feels like what I want brush to feel like when I use it. So that's nice. Flingser and Dynamo Roller. I think it was 2 patches ago that Carbon Roller and Splat Roller got the maximum damage buff. It wasn't a maximum damage buff. It was a scale buff on the maximum damage. So the fall off for the damage fall off was kind of removed from like the edges. So before, if you clipped a player, if you clipped an enemy with the edge of the swing, it wouldn't deal the maximum damage. Now it does for Dynamo and Flingzer, just like they did for there, you see, just like they did for oh shit, just like they did for Carbon and there it is. See, just like they did for Carbon and Splat Roller 2 patches ago. They gave that to Flingzer and Dynamo Roller, which is, you know, should have given it before. Like, they should have made that something for every roller at the same time. But whatever, like, later's better than never. That's why I'm not, like, raving about that. That's why I don't, like, that's why I'm not really livid over that. And, like, some people seem to be. Like, I just don't get it. Like, that's what I... That's why I'm not really so annoyed with this patch or disappointed. You know, in my opinion, better late than never. Like, why is this so, like... I just don't see why it's such an issue for some people that these updates are coming late. You know, I'd rather have it late than not at all. You know? Maybe it is late. Do I care? No, it still came eventually. And I don't think we should normalize this lateness. But, like, they did it, you know? They did the thing we wanted. Why are we complaining that they did the thing we wanted? Granted, this is not something that... this is not the improvement that Dynamo needed. But just in general, with some of these, like, updates that feel delayed, you know, that feel late. Why are we complaining? We got them, didn't we? We wanted these things. Why are we complaining now that we have them? I understand that they're late, and that's worth calling attention to, but to be like, oh, bad patch. It was all just stuff that was late, and then a bunch of stuff that wasn't needed. Okay. To me, the positives of this patch, the Wavebreaker and the Instorm buff, I see as positives. And the Flingzer thing and the slight downgrades on Squeezer, I see them as good. The points for special changes were quite good. There were a few like, okay, why did you do that? You know, there were a few of those moments, but most of them were quite solid. You know, the only really like questionable points for special changes was the lack of a change for Snipewriter, and 170 Sploosh. Sploosh is irrelevant because it's Sploosh. That's why it's irrelevant. Like, it's not going to be fixed by a points for special change, you know. So it's a weird change. It's an unnecessary change, but it's not really changing anything, you know. It's a nothing. It's bad because it was unnecessary. Like, they didn't need to do that. Other than that, they're all good points for special changes. I like the 2 special reworks we got, and I like most of the main weapon changes. And that's generally the consensus I've seen. But people are taking these, like, really minor points. Not really minor points. Let me start that again. People are taking, like, the, like, 2 bad things that come from this patch, and they're using that to talk down of the entire patch. And I just don't see it. I just don't see that negativity as much. Like, you know, this is... I just don't see why this is such something to cause such a fuss over. I don't know, it's just like a lot of pessimism. What's with it? Why are we being so, like, angsty? The fuck is the point? This is overall alright. There's nothing, in my opinion, to complain. Well, let me rephrase that again. There's more here to be happy about than to be about, you know? Than to, like, feel offended about. I know it's not, like, offended, but, like, it's just the best, like, way to describe how it feels to hear people talk like that. It feels offended. And I just don't feel the same way. Like, I just don't get it. Anyway. That's all. That covers everything I wanted to talk about. Side order. And also... there are some other informations, basically. There's other information outside of the game. Not outside of the game, but... well, there is some outside of the game as well. But, like, just, like, quick cliff notes of, like, other things that are happening that are nothing to do with the main game and not really worth mentioning, in my opinion, on the main channel, but I'm going to mention them very briefly anyway. First of all, Nintendo Live last year, in late November last year, was cancelled because there were some, like, I think it was, like, stalker issues involving some of the, like, you know, like, some of the employees who were going to be working with it were, like, receiving, like, threats, and so they decided to cancel the event because of it. During that event, there was meant to be some Nintendo Live concerts that were going on, some music concerts. There was the Zelda concert and there was the Splatoon concert. That is being posted just to YouTube. They're just posting the performance to YouTube. I think it's about 40 minutes, which allows them to cover every song in their list. Deep cut. It's a deep cut performance. That's coming up. So that's going to be posted to the Nintendo channel soon. I think it's in February they're doing that. And then also, Side Order is coming on the 22nd of February. So that's really exciting. That incidentally coincides with when they'll be announcing the Fresh Season updates. And that's when I'll be seeing you next for Splatoon content, is Side Order and the usual community posts for the Fresh Season updates. Alright, that's the end of the video. I do want to play a few games with S-Blast. Just because I'm working on the 5-star with it. God damn, that's so cool. How close am I? Good God, that's so far away. By the way, I only discovered that you could see the freshness on this like a play session ago. Because I saw somebody tweeting about it. I thought you had to check the NSO app for it. All that time. Anyway. Where's Mincemeat? There he is. Oh, it's here too. Okay, let's look at the tower control one. God, I fucking love this weapon. It's so nice to have, like, a new main, you know? Besides what I always use. Like, I still use Carbon Roller, of course. I'm still good at it. I'm not, like, letting my ability slip with Carbon Roller. It's just nice to have, like, more diversity, you know? I had so much diversity in Splatoon 2. It was more so that I didn't have a main in Splatoon, though. Like, I had a preference towards Kenza Jubilees, but... I don't know, like... I still liked Burst Carbon Roller, I just didn't like Auto Bomb Rush, and I really liked Suction Flingser, and I really like Suction Nautilus in that game, and I really hope they return. I really do. Because I'll definitely be maining those again. Those were so good. But yeah, just finally having, like, a new main after all this time. Like, none of the other, like, weapons that they've released have really struck a big chord with me. But this is just, you know, I've really wanted this. The other thing I really want is Burst Bomb Splat Dualies at the moment. I like Suction Bomb Splat Dualies, but I don't like Crab Tank as much with it, to be honest. What I'm hoping for also is Explosher Crab Tank. I think that'll be really good. I really want that. That's the Crab Tank weapon that will make me play a Crab Tank. Oh, look at that. It's a disconnect. Woo! I love Japanese people. Hi. I don't know why I said that. Okay. But yeah, that's what I'm hoping for in terms of, like, new weapon kits that I would possibly main. I don't know what sub I'd give Explosher though. Yeah, let's look at Splatoon 2 weapons. Okay. What did I like in Splatoon 2? Okay, Kenza Splatter Shot, which is a no-brainer, but... Wow, they really gave all the They really gave Splattershot 3 bomb kits. Why did they do that? That's fucking ridiculous. Why did they do that? Hang on. Why is that a thing? No, like, supportive Splattershot? Really? They're all just really aggressive. Well, Kenza Splattershot's less aggressive. That had Suction Bomb Tensor missiles. Holy shit, why did they do that? That's so weird. That's weird. I don't like that. What else did I like? Forged Suction Bombs in the game. Oh, it wasn't Forged Suction Bomb, it was Forged Splat Bomb that I liked, with Booyah Bomb. It was Kenza Splattershot Pro. That was so good. I liked that. I'd like to see that again. I liked Grim Range Blaster, but I think S Blaster's probably replaced that now. I don't know if they... I don't know if they're even going to get Grim Range in this game, which is kind of sad. I'm going to miss Green Range Blaster. But I think what I would really want is to power everybody else's opinion. Splat Bomb Kraken. That's really good. That sounds really good, actually. I really liked Rapid Pro Deco, which was Suction Bomb Inkjet. And also Kenza Rapid, actually. Not Rapid Pro Deco, Rapid Pro. No, Rapid Deco. That's what I mean. Kenza Rapid was also quite alright with Torpedo. That was quite nice. I think it has that now, though, doesn't it? I don't know. I don't really use it, though. Kenza Splat Roller was good, but only because I had Bubble Blower, which isn't in this game. Foil Flingser, which had Suction Bomb. That was nice. Alright, here we go. Bring Manny. Alright, let's focus on the game. Let's just hop on it. Oh, shit. Okay. Ah, oh, bitch. Alright. I'm going to squish. Bloody squish. Bloody squish. Bloody squish. Bloody squish. Swim away. Oh, wow, that's slow. No! Oh! Okay. Whoop. On the tower. Yeah. Ah. Alright. Nice. I've been getting good at this, actually. I've really gotten into this weapon. I was, once I got to 5 stars, I started, like, really struggling with it. And I started to, like, falter a bit. And, like, I've gotten better with it, more recently. It's kind of, it's really frustrating, actually, this weapon. But, it's so worth it for, like, for eventually, getting good with it. Getting good with this weapon has, like, it's actually just been so fun. If you can look past it being frustrating a bit. So yeah, definitely recommend this weapon, especially if you like Carbon. I think me liking Carbon and just having a good grasp of, like, burst combos in general has, like, really helped with this as well. Paint that wall a bit. Nice. What else did I like? Oh, actually, doesn't it have Suction Bomb? Brush? Octo Brush? I think it might. It's a shame if it does. I think it has Suction Bomb Zipcaster, doesn't it? That's annoying. I don't like that. It has Zipcaster. Oh, Squiff for Suction Bomb! I like the, I like how Squiffer Suction Bomb... I didn't really main Squiffer. I didn't really like Squiffer ever, but I think giving it Suction Bomb is really sound. Because Suction Bomb can make people flustered a bit. And I think that's really good for Squiffer. Nice. Sorry, I'm picking at a spot. Okay. Soda Slosher was nice. With Splat Bomb. And Try Slosher with Burst Bomb was also nice. Just a really hyper-aggressive kit. I really liked that. Although I feel like people would probably object to it being added to the game. I don't know, I think I'd like it. Explosher was kind of disappointing, but I kind of look forward to Explosher. playing it in Splatoon 3, I've seen like the potential with Explosher. So I think I'm ready to pick up an Explosher kit, just not the one it currently has. I don't like the one it currently has. Who knows? Maybe it's better now with the Inkstorm rework, but I don't know. I didn't like it. Suction Bomb Nautilus was nice. I'd really like that back. And Burst Bomb Splat Dualies, I've mentioned again. Glugas. Glugas is something that I'm also kind of expressing interest in. Like I'd really like a good Gluga kit that I can get into. I can see myself liking Glugas as just like a slower option. You know? I want more slower options. Just for like when I don't really feel like it as much, but still want to play the game. I think Glugas could be a really nice one for me. If it gets the right kit, of course. And the other one is Undercover Cerebella, which had Splat Bomb and Bowler. In this case, it would probably be Splat Bomb and Crab Tank? Oh, I don't know if I like that. No, that... Yeah, no. Yeah. Splat Bomb and Crab Tank. It deserves it. It deserves it. It absolutely deserves it. Yeah, I preferred Cerebella. Undercover Cerebella in Splatoon 2. People really like Kenza. But now that it's returned, I think people are seeing that they didn't like Kenza, they like Ink Armor. No, Kenza Cerebella. Undercover Cerebella was good. I liked that weapon. I think Splat Bomb Crab Tank would be really good. I'd like to see that. But yeah. That's kind of what I really remember enjoying in Splatoon 2. So I'd like to see that again. Yeah. I think that's what I'm really hoping for in terms of weapon kits. So yeah. Okay. Wow, this is taking a long time. Usually like 100 seconds, but we're reaching 200 now. I'd really like to start the game. Just one more game. It would be really nice for the votes. Hmm. 'Might eat a Pringle. 220 seconds, that's a long time. There it is. Yeah, figured as much. Not enough players. Mouth noises. Yeah, some people like it. Hmm. 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 Oh, actually, okay. Okay. This is worth talking about on on the channel, actually. Because I have mentioned before that what really got me into posting Splatoon 2 videos was Chugga Conroy. Because he would post at that time that I started, he was doing his Splatoon 2 series. And that kind of encouraged me to do it. So it's kind of like been... Inadvertently, he like kind of caused the growth on my channel. Like really, really inadvertently. Like, obviously it's me. I take all of the credit for my own growth, right? But what really got me to discover this inning was him and his Let's Plays. Recently, for those who are unaware, it's come out that he's kind of weird behind the scenes. Like, he's really harassing behind the scenes. And also on camera, but it was kind of played off a joke by the people who were involved. Just kind of awkwardly. Namely, and I say namely just because this is like... This is the one that kind of... was kind of right there in front of us the whole time. Really? Fucking really? This is the... I say... what was I saying? I say notably because this is the one that's like been in front of us this whole time. But like... because of the way that it was kind of played off... people kind of didn't really see it for what it is. But now that this stuff has kind of been coming out about him, it's clear that like the kind of like shipping stuff with Maysay and Ella. Yeah, no, he was just harassing her. He was just sexually harassing her that entire time. She wasn't comfortable with it. She's come out and said no. But she's not like the person who like first brought attention to it. She only really brought more attention to it more recently. She kind of silently separated herself from him for years now, apparently. Because of just kind of the way that his creepy behavior wouldn't let up, despite him promising that it would many, many times. And she just got sick of it and kind of cut ties with him. And so any interactions that he's posted on his channel with her in the last few years wasn't consented to her by her then either. 2 years ago, the Splatoon 2, you know, she did a collab with him then. Well, that was before they cut contact, and apparently she had expressed to him around the time that they cut contact that she didn't really want to associate with him anymore, and she didn't really want to be in his videos anymore. But then he still did it anyway. So, you know, that just gives a small, like, well, not a small glimpse, like, it gives a very big glimpse into it. But it just gives kind of, like, one example of it. The example that kind of broke more light into this and kind of, I guess, come on. I guess kind of, like, brought more people forward and more able to come forward. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button there. I've been changing my button mapping a bit. Sorry about that. What kind of broke the door open for more people to come forward was Lady Emily coming out about it. She posted a really long list of DMs that she had with him over Discord. She got contact with him over Twitter, and they eventually moved to Discord. And they had like a normal conversation for a while, but then he like bought her shoes as a gift, and then she like showed him that she got the shoes, and he was like, "Oh, do I get to see you wear them?" And like, you know, clear undertones, right? And eventually, you know, there was like some like gags, quote unquote jokes that he would make with her about shoes and feet. But eventually he admits he kind of has a fetish for it. And so she agrees that it's okay to joke about it because he essentially tells him that his girlfriend, she doesn't see it as like a boundary crossing if he talks about shoes with other people as long as it isn't sexual. Well, he tells her this, and then the very next day, she's opening up to him about like what it means to be a trans woman and how comfortable she feels and how awesome it feels to be comfortable as a woman. And at the end of that conversation, he basically starts pushing her into shoe stuff again and foot fetishy shit again. And she becomes increasingly uncomfortable with his conversations. And she eventually tells him she doesn't want to talk to him anymore over it. And that he makes her really, really uncomfortable. And he tries to apologize. And I think she accepts a few times. I think that's what she said. She like accepts a few times, but like it's clear that like they're empty at a certain point. And apparently his like pressuring and his insistence gets so bad that she has to call in his friends to come and like get him off her back. So just, you know, it's fucking infuriating. It's so infuriating. How long have I known about this guy's content? Mm. 13 years. 13 years. I have supported this guy. And it turns out he has been sexually harassing people for years. That's a really sore one. I find myself lucky enough that I haven't really supported many really creepy people behind the scenes. This fucking sucks. 13 years. That's crazy. Unknowingly supporting someone like that. This is gonna run out of time again. This is so annoying. Just load a game, please. I mean, I guess it lets me more space to talk about this, but like... yeah. Really sad. Really sad. So, yeah. Don't support Chugga Conroy anymore. I would also encourage you to stop supporting Um, he has apologized and he has addressed it, and it seemed like a good apology. But then after that apology, that was when Mace and Ella came out, and that was when Ant Dude came out, and just so many other people started coming out after that apology, and were basically just saying that apology probably doesn't mean shit. We've had these apologies for years, and they've not meant anything. So, yeah, really stings. Really stings. But yeah, just someone that we have to let go of. I don't think this game's gonna let me play it. So how long have I been recording anyway? Yeah, an hour 20. Yeah, no, I don't need to do anymore. It's a sour note to end on. But yeah. No, let's change on a different. I'm gonna change my in-game name. I think more and more people are starting to recognize me from Twitter now. So this is for them, I guess. Funny. There we go. There we go. Follow me on Twitter. I realized earlier in this recording, I post a lot. I need to post less, actually. This is really not good for me. No, it's fine for me. I've been gaining a lot of confidence actually through just talking to people on Twitter. You know, instead of quoting their posts. I've made friends, as I said in the previous VOD. That I've actually like made some friends. I'm flirting with a boy now. So that's fun. But yeah, just like just like it's given me a lot of confidence recently. So yeah, it's kind of what's motivated me to record more is just the kind of like encouragement that I've gotten from Twitter recently, and just you know I've pushed myself, and I'm proud of myself. What should I say here? Changed my in-game name. It's boring, but it does the job. Name. Does that didn't it? I showed the names of the other accounts on this Switch. I need to delete them. Nobody else uses the Switch except me. I need to just delete the other names. They don't need to be there anymore. Anyway, I'll have to censor that in post. Oh, that's so annoying. I don't want to censor that in post. Anyway, I'm gonna have to. That's it. Patch review. Small channel update. Complaining about not being able to record and talking about something that's really important. But yeah. Ciao, my dudes. Post. That's my app, by the way. One quantified. If you're wondering why it's not one specified, that account got suspended because I told the horny popo to cut his dick off, and he really didn't like that, so he reported me, and he got my account suspended. That was cool. That account's been suspended now as well, though, so I can live happy.